Hey T-Squad, it's Kirsty. Shh, hear that sound? That's the tea getting dropped. And today, this one is heavy. Because what started as a missing person case has now turned into one of the most disturbing true crime stories tied to a rising public figure. We're talking about the case of Celeste Rivas Hernandez and the man accused of killing her, David Burke. And trust me, the deeper you go, the worse it gets. Let's start at the beginning. Back in April 2024, Celeste, just 14 years old, was reported missing in Los Angeles. At first, it looked like one of those cases we've sadly seen too many times. A young girl disappears, limited leads, and a family left in limbo. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into over a year. And then, everything changed. In September 2025, investigators made a discovery that would shift this case completely. Celeste's remains were found inside a vehicle, specifically a Tesla, that was later linked to David Burke. Not just hidden, but dismembered, separated, placed into bags. That's when this stopped being a missing person case and became a confirmed homicide. Now here's where things take a darker turn. Because for months after that discovery, there was no immediate arrest. And online, people were already asking, how does a case this serious, with a body found in a vehicle, not lead to immediate charges? The answer? Forensics. When investigators recovered Celeste's remains, they were dealing with advanced decomposition. We're talking partial skeletonization, evidence degraded, timeline blurred, which meant they had to rebuild this case piece by piece. Digital footprints, witness statements, forensic reconstruction. And that takes time. Fast forward to April 2026. That's when prosecutors finally moved, and David Burke was arrested and charged. Not just with murder, but with first-degree murder with special circumstances, sexual abuse of a minor under 14, and mutilation of a body. Let that sink in for a second, because those special circumstances, they don't just get added casually. They suggest something very specific. According to prosecutors, the theory is that Celeste wasn't just a victim. She was a potential witness. They allege that Burke had an inappropriate relationship with her while she was underage, and that the motive behind the killing was to silence her, to protect his reputation, his career, his future. Now pause right there, because this is where we separate fact from allegation. Those claims are coming from prosecutors. They still need to be proven in court. And legally speaking, David Burke has pleaded not guilty. His defense team maintains that he did not kill Celeste. So, as of right now, this case is still unfolding. But then, the autopsy results were released, and that added a whole new layer. According to the official report, Celeste died from multiple penetrating injuries. 2 of those injuries were described as critical. 1 wound entered the abdomen and penetrated the liver. The other struck the chest, with enough force to fracture ribs. Now, let's be real for a second. Those aren't random injuries. Those are targeted, severe, and very likely fatal on their own. The report also noted that the injuries were concentrated in the torso, which tells investigators something important. This wasn't chaotic. This wasn't scattered. It suggests a deliberate attack. Then there's what happened after death, because the autopsy confirmed that Celeste's body had been dismembered, limbs removed, body separated, stored in multiple bags. And there was something else that investigators are paying very close attention to. Embedded within some of the cut areas were fragments of plastic. Now, that might sound small, but in forensic terms, that's huge, because it could point to a specific tool, a specific environment, or even link directly to evidence tied to the suspect. Toxicology didn't show anything significant. A low level of ethanol was detected, but not enough to explain or contribute to her death. So the cause remains clear. This was a homicide caused by sharp force trauma. But even with all of this detail, there are still major questions. Because an autopsy can tell you how someone died, but not who did it. And that's exactly where this case stands right now. Because while the prosecution is building a narrative, the defense is preparing to challenge every single part of it. They will likely question the timeline, the condition of the evidence, the impact of decomposition, and whether investigators can prove, beyond a reasonable doubt, that David Burke is responsible. Meanwhile, online, it's chaos. Rumors, alleged messages, claims about how long they may have known each other. But here's the reality. A lot of that has not been confirmed in court. For Celeste's family, this isn't about speculation. It's about justice. They've described her as kind, creative, deeply loved. And now, they're waiting. Waiting for answers. Waiting for accountability. Waiting for the truth to be laid out in court. So, T-Squad, I want to know your thoughts. Do you think the evidence we've seen so far is enough? Or do you think this case is going to come down to what we haven't seen yet? Make sure you like and subscribe. And keep sipping that tea.